So you're fucked. How do you go from there?
So, I lived in my car for a little bit, bounced in bars, collected a little money here and there. I just did whatever I could just to, keep eating and keep training and did what I could. And I knew, so the Von Erichs ran Dallas. That was their hub, world class championship wrestling. And I knew that they were in the office on Wednesday. Like they would come in there and book the cards, and the guys would come in, get their paychecks and shit on Wednesday. So every Wednesday for about 8 months, I would go down there, and I'd sit in the lobby, and fucking guys would walk right by me, not even acknowledge my presence.
Every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday for 8 months, I went and just sat there. And 8 months.
Did you ask to speak to anybody?
Well, so there was a referee back there. His name was Bronco Lubitsch. He was the only one that would speak to me, right? And it would be kind of like, you here again, huh, kid? And I was like, yes, sir, Mr. Lubitsch. I was, hoping maybe I'd get a chance to talk to somebody today. All right, well, just good luck, And then I would sit there. And, I'd walk by and try to, as somebody would come through, I'd kind of start to stand. Fuck, never stopped. Just blew right by me. One day, I was right at the end of my ride. I was like, fuck, I'm not getting anywhere here. And Fritz Von Erich, the patriarch of the family, right? The guy that owned the company came in. And he walked in and he stopped and he looked at me. And I started to, once again, I started to get up, and introduce myself. And he turned around and he went into Bronco's office. And he had a deep, gravelly voice, and I could hear him. And he's like, who's that kid out there? And he said, he's been coming here for months. He's just trying to get booked. And I heard Fritz go, book him Friday night. I want to see what he can do. He looks just like David, one of his sons that he had lost. I looked a lot like David, and that's how I got my first break.
Wow.
Because I was in the right place at the right time.
So had you ever practiced?
No, I was practicing. I was, but I'd never had like a real match.
Right.
I mean, I'm just, every little outlaw, independent kind of deal that I could get, I was doing, but I hadn't worked with top guys or. You
say like outlaw, independent, so you were doing some matches?
I was doing some matches, but not professional, like not televised, not for a real company.
Right.
Like it's just like some jackass, like, okay, I'm a wrestling promoter. I'm going to go to the Knights of Columbus Hall and see if I can put 20 people in here. That's the kind of shit you would do. And then you have to go for no money. And then, you'd set up the ring, whatever you had to do. But the wrestling, the time in the ring was what was so valuable at that point, is getting those reps and getting that stuff. So,
isn't it crazy when you think back of the days in the gym when you were getting ready to go play basketball? If you didn't meet that guy, who knows where you would have gone?
Yeah, I would have probably tried to make a team somewhere, but I don't think that would have lasted because I wasn't real. I was limited. I wasn't. My game was limited enough. I would have probably ended up in the military. I'm pretty sure.
Isn't it crazy how life just?
Yeah.
Do you ever think about that?
I think about it all the time.
That one dude was like your doorway.
Yeah.
To a different life, to becoming a superstar.
Yeah.
There's one guy. You run into one guy in your life.
Yep.
It changes your direction, and then all of a sudden you become wildly successful at this other thing that you were not even really considering.
Yeah, it's nuts. And just the fact that I went to and sat in that lobby for 8 months. And, it was at the end. I was like, fuck, this is getting me nowhere.
But
and then just one day.
That is what people need to hear, man. In this day and age, everybody wants everything to happen right away.
Yeah. That is. Everybody's got that sense of entitlement. Mm-hmm. And figure they're owed something.
Yeah.
And, and aren't willing to put in the grind.
Yeah.
And, I tell people, I was living in my car.
Yeah.
Sometimes I could stay with my brother, but there was a lot of nights I had to sleep in a Monte Carlo with fucking, at 6'8" and 315 pounds is not real comfortable.